Welcome back to Catching Up with Katie. I sound terrible. Kimmy, lock in. I sound terrible. I understand. Everyone's like, you're sick all the time. Yeah, I don't sleep.
No.
And I don't quit working until 11 o'clock at night. And I don't take any medicine ever. And I probably don't eat very good immunity foods. So, it just is what it is. But we are over halfway through foaling season at this point. Over halfway. And we're currently on Foal Watch as we are filming this. We're on Foal Watch for Happy. She faked me out, as all of the mares this year have, because I thought we would have a 2-day-old baby by now.
Yeah.
But, I'm being humbled. Being humbled a lot this season, and that's okay. That's what you need in life. And then I think I had like the Monday of all Mondays this past week. So woke up that morning being like, don't feel good. Felt very flu-like symptoms. Sans, like no fever, but symptoms of the such. And when have I taken a nap from 11 o'clock to 2 on a work day?
I've never seen this woman nap in her life.
And I was just like curled up in the big chair, snoozing. Didn't eat lunch. Didn't do nothing. And so I woke up to go to the barn to finally me and you had gone out.
We had done stuff in the morning.
We'd
come back to
and I was like, I just
videos.
took a nap. And I was like, we got to go wrap up for the day. And I was like, I have an easy day. I can go just get these videos done, come back and go back to bed.
Yeah.
Because at that point we were not on Foal Watch. And I had very much planned on just dying. And we go to the barn. And immediately as I walk in the barn, Maggie lays down. And I was like, that is just not normal or ideal. And so for those that don't know, Maggie's one of our mares who is due around now. And she had colic surgery at around 295 days pregnant. So 3.5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And when she had that first colic surgery, it was from her colon being displaced. So horses, their colon is dangling inside. I'm not ever going to question the creator, but the horses have the stupidest digestive tract and and organ placement out of all animals. Okay. And so they just freaking could die from anything. So her colon was on the opposite side of her body, as it should have been. And it was wedged up underneath her baby with that first one. And the gas buildup from it was creating so much pain. And it was also causing her colon to have a lot of swelling. And anyway, they had to fix it surgically, which she miraculously, that already wasn't a shoo-in that she'd be fine. Already,
Katie was very worried.
That was oh, baby might not do good. Mama might do, that was already a miracle that she made it through that so comfortably. And then she came home and seemed to be doing fine. She was in the big bowling stall. We were watching her really closely. She had her last baby with us in the mid 320s. And so I kind of assumed she would do the same this time. And so we were like, please just let yourself heal. And we had already decided, since she's probably going to foal early, we're going to take her into the clinic to foal. We're going to take her into the clinic. We're going to wait till her milk starts, kind of looking suspicious. And then we'll take her in because it's only 30 minutes away. And so we were like, we're going to leave her comfortable while we can. Well, this past Monday, I see her lay down. I'm like, that doesn't look right. And so I go up to her. I'm listening to her on her, her side. She's just grunting. I hear nothing. Generally, if you put your ear to a horse's belly, there's all kinds of
gurgles
and motion and all kinds of things.
Wait, you can do that?
Why couldn't you do that?
I've just never thought to do it.
I mean, safely.
And now I want to know what it sounds like.
Well, we can listen.
I
to somebody.
too would like to listen.
Does it sound like a person where it's
yeah, you can hear it outside of their body all the time. If all the time when I'm checking milk, I hear gurgles and all things.
I'm gonna get a stethoscope.
Yeah,
we have one.
We can go check Coco.
I'm gonna use a stethoscope.
Let's check Coco.
We have one. And so I listened for gut sounds, heard nothing, and I was like, "That's awesome." And so immediately, because at this point she's weeks out from surgery. She looks very similar to the last time. I was like, Banamine now. We gave her some immediate response, which is kind of something like if she was impacted or not pooping, like it would kind of help with that. And I called Jonathan. I was like, hey, I need, like, can you bring the trailer around? Like, just trying to get every moving part happening as fast as possible. And we had her to the vet. From the time that I saw her lay down to the time she walked into the vet, it was 35 minutes. And we had given her Banamine right before she got on the trailer. So that was kicking in when we got there. She was still like pawing and just so upset and so in pain. And like I was really worried that she had gone down on the trailer a couple times. And so we get her to the vet. Immediately, they're like, yeah, her colon's wrong spot again. And so I don't know. I mean, there's no way to know officially. I don't know if it was just like baby was moving it around because baby was super active, like getting ready to come out. But yeah, it was wedged up underneath baby again. And so this time, though, she didn't have a lot of gas in her stomach, which was good because
we caught it early.
We caught it super early. And the gas was what was making her even more uncomfortable the first time. And so the hope was that we could use drugs, lidocaine, drugs and time to like let her be comfortable. And hopefully it would just kind of like move around.
Back.
Now, her being that heavily in foal made it that much less likely that it would move because, again, it's like wedged under this baby. So it was probably like what, 3:30, 3 when we had her at the vet, and I would say by 5:30 or 6
they had started.
They called me and said, hey, we're not at surgery yet, but like we got to have some serious conversations. And it was a vet that I've known for a really long time, and then I absolutely love their newest surgeon, and he had done her first surgery. They're very good about communication. And so they're like, we just got to have some really hard conversations. And like, I mean, I feel like I make hard decisions a lot. Like
all the time.
I feel like I make them all the time. And I feel like it's not necessarily easy, but I mean, you just get used to having to make kind of like sucky decisions. And so they were like, hey, we need to know, like, you know, right now we're obviously trying our best to get her to not have surgery. But if we have to do a recut, obviously odds are like worse for her, worse for baby, worse for everything. And so we just need to know, like, some people absolutely would, because here's another zinger to throw in there. Colic surgeries are freaking expensive. Like the first one was like 10 grand. And so it's like not everyone could do the first surgery, let alone a month later, a second one. And so they had to present me with that of being like, hey, like, we have to know what you want to do. We're not going to, because absolutely some people would do a terminal C-section in this situation. Which
some people would choose to
absolutely
mare
like
over the baby.
Well, but it's like at that point, if your mare is like constantly colicking and you don't have the funds to just keep doing surgeries, like it's a real decision that I would not shame someone for. Absolutely. And so they're like, you know, some would just do a terminal C-section, which is where they do a C-section in a way that like mom would not recover from, and they would put her down. And that does allow you to get baby out faster. So that is something to take into account. And so they're like, that's an option. And I was like, is there another?
Yeah, what's the next one?
Is there another option here? They're like, yeah, I mean, yes. And they're like, we could attempt to do the surgery like we did the first time and see if we can't get her to like hold baby in and foal. I'm like, can she foal? Like, can she even foal after having 2 abdominal surgeries? Because I mean, like,
they got some strong.
It's a lot
stitching.
of abdominals.
Yeah,
to do
and
it.
I don't like she was cut from like right in front of her udder to the middle of her belly.
Yeah,
you know, and like it's hard on their body. Like, I mean, there's when they go into surgery. I mean, are you squeamish?
It really depends. It's kind of different things. Kind of make me squeam.
You should look up a colic surgery on YouTube.
Okay.
Which I mean, colic surgeries vary on like what kind they are.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, They string them up 4 legs. Like, they sedate them, lay them down, string them up by all 4 legs, hoist them up, take them over to the table. They have, like, a like, oxygen tube down their throat. They have an anesthesiologist. They have the surgeon. They have surgery techs, like, all that good stuff. And so she had already been through that a month prior.
Yeah.
Pregnant. And then she has all this weight in her belly, you know? And so they were like, we could do that again. And I was like, okay, but like, are you telling me you could do it, but that you suggest against it? Like, is there any chance of success with it? And I'm like, I mean, we can attempt to do the surgery again. And hope that she holds baby in for like days or even a couple weeks to give herself time to heal. We would obviously let her foal here, not at home, so that we could help her. And if we get in there, we just need to know, like at this point, because there's 2 lives, because there's already the first surgery, but you know, we had to have plan A, plan B, plan C. Like, we had to know, okay, if this happens, what do we do? Because they don't need to be calling me, be like, hey, what do you think we should do? And they're in the middle of surgery. Like, they need to know what
they don't need to have to stop and call you.
Exactly. And so they were like, what's plan B? And I was like, I mean, and they were very, very good at guiding me through this, being like, we could do plan A, which is, again, the same surgery. Try to leave baby in. If we get in there and baby is in distress and all the things, we could take baby and like try to close her up and try to like fix her and see if she recovers. I mean, that's 2 very difficult surgeries. And here's the thing to think about, because everyone, like, I saw a lot of comments being like, why wouldn't you just take the baby out? You already put her through so much and you're going to make her foal now. Like, why wouldn't you just do a C-section? It is not the freaking same as a person. Like, let me just get that out of the way. It is not the freaking same. They don't have a damn NICU sitting right there with all incubators and crap. Like, I don't know, like with horses, everything is just so much more violent looking. Like, if you look up a C-section of a horse, like when they're doing chest compressions on a foal, it looks like you're beating it. Like, it is so difficult and hard on this baby's body and hard on the mom and hard on. So like, especially because she wasn't in labor prior to the surgery. And so with her body not being in labor, she hadn't like primed this baby to come out.
Yeah.
So her body hadn't released these hormones and like told the baby, hey,
it's time to go.
Time to be born.
Right.
Time to wake up. Time to, you know. And so due to that already puts a lot more risk. The baby's just not going to like thrive, not going to wake up. And then there's the case that she was only 322 days. So like, sure, some of our babies have been born at that stage and they've been fine. But there's other babies that if they're not ready to come out at 322, their lungs might not be developed. And again, we don't have all this like NICU. Like, sure, there is. Like, there is equipment. There is things you can do.
But we just don't have access to it right now.
Well, what I'm meaning is it's just not to the extent of humans.
Yeah.
And so, like, lots of people were questioning it. I'm like, you don't understand how different from humans or dogs or other animals this is. Like, this is such a large animal. And so that plan B was like, okay, maybe take baby if we have to. And then plan C was if her colon needed to like a resection and was like super damaged and whatever, she would have such a low chance of survival anyway from that. It would be in baby's best interest to get it out as fast as possible and do a terminal C-section at that point. And so that was a plan as well. And very much hoped that wasn't the plan. But because like I went through all those stuff with the vets and was like, okay, like, I'm with you. We made the decision, hung up, and like, again, it's like I don't feel like I lose it that often, and I've lost it multiple times this foaling season, and I just like lost it because I love Maggie, and like that was such a weird and hard like pre-decision to make, you know?
And it also like gets your mind reeling of like what could happen.
Yeah, and then I mean, you can't do anything. Like, I'm just at home. Like, all I can do is pray. All I can do is think about it, you know? And I mean, you know, there's such a wide variety of people that follow this channel and that follow me, and not saying that you have to believe what I believe, but I wholeheartedly believe the power of prayer is what guided these vets and got this mom and baby through it, because they called me back like 10 minutes later and we're like, yeah, we gotta do surgery. I'm like, okay. And I didn't get a call. I mean, that was probably like 7. I didn't get a call till 1:30 in the morning. Like I didn't get a call till 1:30 in the morning being like, okay, we're through, because it was so difficult and like her anesthesia was so difficult. And so I got a call at 1:30 and they were like, she made it through great. Baby did great. Everything looks fine. I'm like,
huh? Okay.
Great. And so that was like the first hurdle. And I'm like, that was so unlikely. And what was even more unlikely, because I went and saw her the next morning, because I had to go drop off some mares anyway. And I'm like, I'm going to go see Maggie this morning. She was like bright-eyed and like wanting to eat, which her digestive tract is like crap. So they can't feed her normally at that point. And she looked bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Now her udder looked like it was about to stream milk. So I was like, oh, great. Like all of this stress had for sure sent her into like kick-starting things. Anyway, it was just so unlikely. And then what was even more unlikely to go positively was less than 24 hours after being cut a second time, she goes into labor, and I get the call that evening saying, well, water's broke. We've started. We will let you know how it goes. I'm like,
great.
Mind you, Happy's also like on Foal Watch. And I'm like, oh, I can't even leave right now. And so she, I think they called me at 6:50 saying things have started. Water's broke. 7:07. Baby's out. Super perky. She did it by herself. No help.
That's wild.
They're like, we tried to help. She didn't want us.
Horses are absolutely incredible.
And like Maggie is like, I just don't know how to convey how unlikely for this to have a positive outcome was, which we're still so early in that like anything Maggie absolutely could still have complications. But like baby's pretty safe at this point. I mean, not safe. Things could still happen, but like we're not really worried about baby. Maggie could still have some complications. But like I just don't know how. It's like, can you imagine having like a C-section and then 24 hours later they say, oh, push a baby out?
How did they said that her stomach was bleeding as she was pushing?
Yeah, it was.
So was it like breaking the stitches, or was it just kind of just like the pressure kind of just made it bleed a little?
Well, I think there's always like a little bleeding and seepage when you have like an open wound like that. Like anyway, that's why like you change your bandages and stuff. But yeah, the pressure built, and like obviously she's using her abdomen. She's using her muscles to push out. And luckily, and I told them, I was like, when she had her first baby, that thing came out like a rocket. Like she pushes that thing out fast.
Yeah.
That was Molly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they took that, they noted that. But yeah, it was definitely like heartbreaking to see that. I mean, birth always brings blood, but you're seeing this mom. I mean, this is so graphic. I'm so sorry. Like you're seeing this mom like tearing herself apart to bring her baby into the world.
And she's still here. How
and she's like
crazy.
Like chipper.
Yeah.
And like bright-eyed and ears up and like they sent me a picture, and it's not a very high quality picture, but like baby's standing up, ears up, and in the background he's tending her wounds and she's like licking her baby. And it's like she's being like stitched back up and she, I don't know, it was just,
she's very strong.
It's just insane. And so yeah, it's been an eventful week. Lots of positive, like lots of saying yes to prayers happened this week.
Yeah.
But I have a question about like the surgery itself. Why wouldn't they have like with humans they can tack down a colon or an organ or whatever? Do they not? Wouldn't they do that for her?
Horses, and I know they do that in like dogs and stuff too. Horses, your colon or their colon,
does it need to move?
So like I think a healthy colon moves.
Okay.
And again, I'm not a vet. but like from how it was explained to me was in horses, they've tried to do it and it's not common practice and it's really not done because it tears easily.
Got it.
For some reason in horses more so than other animals. And I mean, then you're just screwed.
Yeah.
Like,
because we only have one colon, right?
Yeah, then you're just screwed. And so, like, I think a healthy colon in a horse, like, can move around as long as it doesn't get hung up and it's, like, stuck. And when there's a big old foal in there.
A foot and arm.
Yeah. So that took up the first, I don't even know how long of the catching with Katie, but lots of people have been asking questions about that. Like, I mean, the biggest thing is people are like, is she done having babies? I said she was done after her first colic surgery. She's done. Okay. She's never having babies again. Now, I don't know. I was going to ask the vet about like, because someone mentioned they're like, would you spay her so that if she ever did have a home in the future, like they couldn't breed her? And I was like, I hadn't thought about that because I don't know. Like spaying isn't like a common practice in horses. Yeah. And so I don't know if that's something that causes like hormonal issues.
Yeah.
You know, like is it the same as, because she's very young. I'm like, is it the same as like a young woman getting a hysterectomy and then having hormonal issues? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't do it to ensure that, but it didn't cross my mind. But yeah, that baby's fine. Baby's beautiful. It's a little filly.
She's cute.
Been trying to figure out names for it because everyone wants me to name it Miracle. And I know I had the same face. I'm sorry. I'm not fun.
Miracle?
I don't hear if I named every baby Miracle that people suggest that I name Miracle because something happened to make it alive. Like we would have every baby named Miracle. Like there'd be 2 Miracle babies a year. It just, I don't know. It feels cheesy to me. And I hate to say that.
She doesn't look like a miracle, like just from a picture. I haven't seen her in person, but she doesn't. I'm just saying, she don't.
She's very cute. Unfortunately, people ruined her blaze for me. She has a very, very beautiful face and very unique.
If it was flipped upside down, it'd be fine.
Very unique face marking. We can put a picture up so that people. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to ruin it for you.
I haven't seen it up close.
You'll recognize it.
So there's
I'd hope.
I didn't see it until people
commented it.
Ruined it for
me. Don't tell me.
Immediately.
I'm not going to tell you. But people ruined it for me and now I can't unsee it. So anyway. Sometimes it's like, you know how you can see stuff in the clouds sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have seen it. But if I'm looking for something.
I think we should just take a little pen and just color right next to the side of it so it closes.
But yeah, she's got the cutest little face. I'm more apt to name her something along with Maggie. Like some other form. Like Maggie's short for Margaret, right? Like what's another short name for Margaret? Like Meg? I don't know. Margot?
Margot. I like Margot.
Margot.
I just think something to honor like Maggie more so than anything. Kennedy doesn't even know she had a new kid. Kennedy don't know. Maybe we should go show her a picture.
You see your kid? You had a baby.
But yeah, it's gonna be a minute before they come home. It'll be a while, but all will be well when they do. I'm excited.
How long does she have to stay at the clinic?
They haven't really given me a exact time. I know that tomorrow they're planning on introducing like a little bit more of like she's been interstall since she foaled. I think they're gonna maybe introduce like a little hand walking because I mean now we balance the fact that like for foal development they need to move. They need to move. They need, and I do envision when they do come home for the first little bit, it's probably going to be where like we hand walk Maggie out in the pasture or we hand walk Maggie out in the arena and let baby run.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty interesting takes on this whole situation, but I'm just happy.
Situation. What do you mean?
On Maggie's situation. I'm just happy my mama and baby are alive.
Yeah, very much so.
So
it was a big relief. I walked down the stairs as she was talking to the doctor and I was like, please be good news. And I didn't hear her crying, so I was like, okay, this is going well. And then she got off the phone and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, go to the bathroom. And she's like, Maggie's okay. And I'm like, okay, woo!
Well, you did see me the night before. You were just like la-di-da on your phone, and then you look up, I'm just like
She's
sobbing
bawling.
my eyes
And I'm
out.
like, what do I do? I didn't know what to say.
I was like, did you hear any of that conversation? And you're like, I had it on speakerphone.
Whenever you're on the phone, I do my best to like
appreciate
zone out because it's not my business.
Appreciate that. That's noted.
Now, if it's like Jonathan and you're on
that.
speaker, I'm gonna listen. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all doing?
I genuinely do not do that.
You listen?
If someone's on the phone around me, if I have to take a private conversation, I'll go somewhere private.
Yeah.
So generally, if someone's on the phone and I hear a crazy sentence,
yeah,
whoa.
I know.
I'll lock in. What are they talking about? Oh my goodness.
No, a lot of times sometimes I will be listening and
then as soon as the phone's off, I'm like, what was that?
Tea.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I mean, Foal Watch is back. We're doing live Foal Watches. They are mad that we're not doing D&D live.
We can do it.
We'll do some.
I know. We
don't give me that look. I saw that slight little side eye.
So last night we played it and we didn't do it live just because I don't even know why we didn't do it live last night. I think we were just kind of
I think we were just playing to play.
Yeah, and sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to like not be on social media.
Yeah.
Play.
And so we were just playing and we had a really big battle and we were big nerds and it was great.
2.5 hours.
Someone was ready to go to bed and on her phone, not locking in. I was working and paying for the whole shindig. Okay. Someone's got to. I was posting until 11 o'clock. Like you can't, no one says crap to me because it's like paying everybody to be there that night. But yeah, we should do that. We need to get back into, we're probably going to, I say we're going to do it tonight. This is getting posted way after tonight.
Might still be on Foal Watch though.
Well, I mean, we have 3 more mares left. There's very high possibility. It's like we're on Happy Foal Watch right now. We might end up being on Phoebe because Phoebe's been progressing. Annie is also due around the same time. And so, yeah, I mean.
Is there not a possibility there? I mean, obviously there's a possibility that Annie or Phoebe could foal first, but
yeah. I'd say it's more likely Phoebe.
Yeah. Than Annie.
Annie hasn't been doing much. And, yeah, Stephanie has been bringing in a new little prediction to the
checkups.
Yeah,
Wow,
I don't know how I
that.
feel about that. She tastes the milk, which I understand. I drink cow milk, like why is it any different? Probably because it's just like straight from the tit. I don't know.
True.
And like sometimes on her
How
hand
does she get it? Just like back of her hand?
She just squirts it into her hand and then tastes it. She says it goes from salty, which is like not anywhere near. She said Annie was super salty yesterday. And then bland, which is like getting closer. And then sweet is like baby.
Yeah.
Where did she say she learned that from?
So she's worked on, if you haven't watched her video.
I haven't watched it myself, to be honest. I need to go watch it.
I see.
You could just ask her.
You could just ask Stephanie.
That's very
But
when do you want me to give you the view?
She's worked on multiple breeding farms.
How old is she? Because I saw some comments.
I can't tell you that.
Well, no,
here.
I was like looking at some comments on like the. Oh, okay, cool. I was looking at some comments on like the video that you post of like the YouTube video, and some people were like, "How long has she been in this business?"
She looks great.
Yeah, and I was like, "Truly, how long has she been in this business? Because what? How has she lived so many lives?"
I mean, nobody would believe she's like 45.
Stop it.
That wasn't me. That was all him.
Because
you'll never know. Not my secret to tell.
She certainly doesn't look 45.
Well,
she does not look 45.
No.
That I can say for sure.
Or 50.
She's just like, so today, which y'all will see it later, she rode Molly for the first time. And it's just like, just aura beaming off of her,
Yeah,
you know?
And
just
she's
farming.
I say this all the time. She's cool as hell.
She's my barn crush.
Like,
it's fine.
Literally, she's cool.
It's fine. I have issues. Should we do another game of who is this animal and see if Lindsay knows who they are?
Oh, yeah. Let's try it because I've been messing up, bro.
You've been messing up?
Yeah, I freaking called Kennedy Ginger.
All right.
I also called Waylon Ginger.
I'm going to screenshot these as I go this time so that it's nice and easy. And I'll send them to Nate. Okay, we're going to end today's episode with seeing how far you've come by working here and if you know some of these animals, okay? Because you should.
I'm worried.
You should at
I'm
this
very
point.
worried.
So who is, and mind you, these are going to come up on the screen. Who is this?
Can you zoom in on the nose? That's Arlene. Hold on. Arlene. Who's the other one that I mixed up?
Is it Arlene?
I believe it's Arlene.
Okay, I mean it is.
She's got the little
you're
freckles. She got the little freckles.
Who's this?
I want to say Maggie, but I don't think so.
I actually don't. I don't know from that photo.
I actually think it's Maggie.
Is it Maggie?
It could be.
Timothy. Who is
You've
it?
been doing so well. I really think it's Maggie, but it could be
It
like.
is not Maggie.
Is it Beyonce?
It is not Beyonce.
Okay.
Let me see one more time.
Maggie and Beyonce. Ricky?
It is Ricky.
Got it. Got it.
It is Ricky.
It had to be a new one because she didn't look familiar.
She had a
But
baby
the thing
this
is
year.
like her face
Right,
is like a
but-
little bit tilted up. The sun.
Alrighty. Let's go into a different species, shall we?
Oh, heck.
Shall we?
Watch
I'm
her show
out.
me like Blanche, and I'll be like, Dorothy.
I think
Right.
I could get those.
Could you?
Who's that?
That is.
You hold on. Give her a second.
Pumpkin.
She was right on that one.
Pumpkin.
That's punk.
She was right on that one.
That's a little punk.
That's that little pump.
Lil Punk. Okay. This is going to be hard.
Oh, no. For both of us or just me?
But
Definitely not.
I'm
me.
going to be so shocked if either one of you gets this.
Is it one that's
So
like.
this is one that I'm going to give them. Like, I doubt they know.
Okay.
Melody.
I knew you were going to get it because we gave her a shot last night together.
Well, no. Also, she looked a little grimy.
I mean, I certainly would have guessed one of the new ones.
She looked grimy.
She's just.
I might have
she's just shedding.
accidentally
She's not-
called her Melanie. Do we don't
Melanie.
we don't have a Melanie, do we?
We do not have a Melanie.
What's the other one?
Melody?
The other one.
Kimberly.
Kimberly.
She has the star.
Okay, Kimberly, not Melanie.
I'm literally
She
just
looked-
going through
She
my.
looked chopped.
Literally just going through my camera roll from like the recent pictures.
Do some.
I'm not gonna give you who you want.
I know. Give me a.
Okay, this was kind of difficult, I feel like, because it doesn't show everything. Okay. Who is it?
I want to. Okay, the lighting's kind of tripping me up because it could be. Is that Indy?
It is not. It's Raven.
What the? Where's the little thing on her side?
It's right there.
Oh, I didn't see the lighting. The lighting from far away.
But I could tell that without the thing. I'm just saying.
You have owned these horses forever.
I've only had Raven for 2 years.
That's too long. 2 more years around her than me.
You've been here almost a year, girl.
Oh, okay. So one more year longer than me.
Now, this is you're gonna both get this. I just want to show it because she's so fat. By me saying that description, who's it gonna be?
There's many that it could. You call a lot of the mares fat.
Who do you think is gonna be? If
Karen? Regina!
She's just so fat.
Yeah.
I wanted to show
Regina.
it.
She's doing
what June?
So her due date is July 7th, but she had George at like day 313 or something like that.
July?
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be
Wow.
June. Like,
Yeah.
I think she did that with her first
Maybe
baby
on,
before
maybe on
him
your
too.
birthday. Little birthday baby.
Maybe. And then I guess we'll just kind of end on this last one. Make it a good one.
Make it hard.
Hard? Okay. Oh, I know how to make it hard.
I don't know.
What?
Don't clip that.
Well, they weren't going to. Now they're going to.
Hold on. I know what I need to do. Who's that?
Not Gracie.
You said not Gracie.
It's not.
Let me see again.
I'm trying to remember the Opal's nose. Opal has more pink on her nose, I'm pretty sure.
I think that is Opal.
Is it?
It's Opal.
It is Opal.
Whatever.
It is.
Whatever.
Okay. Y'all passed. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm so sorry if it was kind of like low energy and like, can I say I have a smoker's voice today?
It can certainly be said.
Do you think that it will offend the smokers in my comment section?
If they get offended by that,
Look, we don't.
bro.
There's just going to be pearl clutchers in the comments, you know.
My voice is just going through it. And so it's just a little bit it's just a little bit low energy. I'm sorry. We're all tired. But I hope, for those wanting a little bit more insight on Maggie's situation, you got it. We're really, really happy that she and baby are here with us. We're going to keep our prayers up, keep our positive thoughts up. Hopefully we have another healthy baby by the end of the weekend. We need to go to sleep. Anyway, see y'all in the next one.
Bye.
See you later, haters.